This conference will now be recorded.
My name is Laura Schifrin, and I call the meeting to order of the Montechusett Regional Planning Commission on Thursday, April 3rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. This meeting will be recorded to ensure we have accurate record of our discussion. If anyone has any concerns about being recorded, please let me know. Hearing and seeing none. Also, is anyone also recording the meeting? Hearing and seeing none. This meeting is held under an act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency signed by Governor Healy on March 28, 2025, allowing local and regional governments to hold public meetings remotely or in hybrid fashion through June 30th, 2027. All votes will be taken by roll call. Okay, we're happy about that. We're going to get more participation this way. Okay, next, MRPC minutes of March 6, 2025. Has everyone had a chance to review them as they were sent to us?
Yeah.
Is there a motion?
I'd move that we approve the minutes from the meeting of March 6, 2025.
Second, Guy Corbisero.
Okay, who made the motion? State your name, please.
Cunningham from Groton.
Yes, thank you. And Guy seconded. Does anyone have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes? Hearing and seeing none. Would you take the roll call vote, please?
Alan Pease.
Aye.
Barbara Yocum.
Aye. Sorry. Aye.
Guy Corbisero.
Aye.
Kathy Norton.
Aye.
Kyle Narowitz.
I think Kyle is on, but he's muted. And I apologize because I should have had you do the roll call before I read that before to show the quorum. But if you're doing everybody now, it will show that we have a quorum. Okay, thank you, Kyle. And
Laura Schifrin, you're next.
Laura Schifrin here, yes.
Peter Cunningham.
Yeah, Peter Cunningham, aye.
That's all.
That's all? Okay, thank you. And thank you all. Who is doing the cash schedule tonight? Is Robert here?
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
So opening balances for the period were $572,024.63. Total receipts, $243,189.14. Total cash on hand before the warrant, $815,213.77. Less amount of this warrant, $142,792.23. Balance after the warrant, $672,421.54. On deposit as of March 31st, $672,421.54. And that's it.
Any questions for Chris?
I move to approve subject to audit, Guy Corbisero.
Is there a second?
Cunningham, second.
Pease.
Okay, we'll let Alan do it this time.
Sounds
Thank
good.
Okay. All right, roll call. Vote, please.
Alan Pease.
Aye.
Barbara Yocum.
Aye.
Guy Corbisero.
Aye.
Kathy Norton.
Aye.
Kyle Narowitz.
Aye.
Laura Schifrin.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Peter Cunningham.
Cunningham, aye.
Thank you. Okay, now on to guest announcements or questions. Do we have any guests tonight? No, George is
I
here.
don't see any.
Okay, thank you. All right then, Glenn, can we go to number 5, administrative matters?
Sure. Thanks, Madam Chair. 5.1 Commission Organization. Nominating committee shall be elected by the full commission in the month of April. Approval of commissioners requested. During the March 6th meeting, management requested 3 commissioners to serve on the nominating committee. Basically, Laura Schifrin, Guy Corbosiero, Peter Cunningham volunteered to serve on the committee to identify people who would then serve in the following positions. For chair, vice chair, treasurer, assistant treasurer, secretary, at-large member number 1, and at-large member number 2. And basically, tonight, the commissioners appoint those 3 people identified. If you want, that's great. That's perfect. And then if they're all appointed tonight to serve on the nominating committee, then in May, these 3 parties on the nominating committee would have a meeting remotely, 6:15 p.m. on Thursday, May 8th, to discuss a slate of officers for FY26. So basically, I believe Holly will reach out on your behalf and work with you 3 to keep you in the loop over the next week on people. Holly's nodding. Holly, you want to chime in?
Sure. As I did last year, I sent out a survey to all the commissioners and asked if anybody was interested in holding a position. And I'll do the same this year. We'll collectively, we'll put together all the responses that we get, and the nominating committee will review them. And that's where we'll come up with the um, slate of officers that we'll recommend.
Thanks. Perfect, Holly. Thank you very much. So if anyone has interest in serving in any of these positions, please feel free to contact by phone or email Holly, but feel free to contact the members of the nominating committee too. We just ask that if commissioners do that they forward the contact information and the interest from a party, Jim or Jane, if you will, so that Holly has a comprehensive list of all interested parties for that meeting on May 8th. May 8th is also the next meeting of the planning commissioners. And then there's a resolution there. So I'll stop my report and turn it back to the chair. Thank you.
Okay. Be it resolved that the Montechusett Regional Planning Commission hereby appoints Laura Schifrin, Guy Garbasaro, and Peter Cunningham to serve on this year's nominating committee and charges the committee to propose a slate of candidates for the various commission offices and at-large positions no later than May 8th, 2025. Is there a motion?
Yes, I would move the resolution as printed in the agenda and read by you, Laura.
I'll second Guy Corbisiero.
Okay. And discussion. Is there anybody else who would rather do it than one of these 3? Don't everybody wants?
Guy Corbisiero. I just want to make a comment. Laura, if I'm not mistaken, you said that you cannot take the chair on again, correct?
Yeah, not because I'm on the select board in town and it's just too much.
I just want to remind everybody that case and any other position, don't feel like you'd be stepping on somebody's toes if you put yourself forward. I think everybody would be glad to have somebody fresh come on the board. Just want to make that comment.
Thank you, Guy.
Yeah, Peter Cunningham, Laura, I would, I concur with what Guy said. And, obviously anybody that wants to serve on this is important. I'm also a select board member of the town of Groton, and it's pretty crazy, especially this time of year.
Yeah, budget season.
Absolutely.
And it's really a mess. So
Yeah, same here.
My condolences to both of you.
Yeah, okay. So we have a motion seconded. We seem to have done discussion. Holly, would you do the roll call vote, please?
Alan Pease,
Aye.
Barbie Oakham,
Aye.
Guy Corbacero,
Aye.
Kathy Norton,
Yes.
Kyle Nardowitz,
Aye.
Laura Schifrin,
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Peter Cunningham.
Yeah, Cunningham, aye.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. So let's go on to 5.2. Glenn, did you want to take this? I think it's part of what I read already, but
5.2 is, yes, it's directly related to what you did read, Madam Chair. The reality is that, yes, the governor did sign late March the extension, not a permanent extension to the open meeting law for remote participation in meetings, but another extension. Instead of extending to another March date 2 years from now, this one goes to June 30, 2027. The amendment is available in our handouts tonight. It only says an extension of date from A to B. Kayla, can you scroll down a little bit more? I think that's all this is all really about, but I wanted to make sure there are links there for materials downloading on the open meeting law guidelines if anybody needs it to see it. This is for information only. Kayla, can I see what's under that link? Please. Thank you very much. And I think that we go on to the next item. Yeah, we do. So open meeting law update is done. You want me to continue?
I got a quick question. I believe, I think there is still a bill pending to actually make this permanent.
I was just going to say, Peter, that when it was introduced, the option was given for it to be permanent, but I guess they didn't go that way. So that I just heard that.
Right. But I thought they still might be considering that at some point. I had communication with Senator Cronin's office. It sounded like that was something they were still in the mix.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's still
It's still
we
until
can take advantage of it for another couple of years, which is a good thing.
right. Okay. Glenn, on the retirement legislation 5.3.
Sure. I'm giving you a little more detail this time because the session ended in December and the next 2-year session for the legislature started this past January. So when legislation doesn't pass by December 31 of a session, then it all has to be refiled. So back to your comment about, Senator Cronin's comment, Peter and Laura, about they still want to deal with it. I don't know if legislation has been refiled. It probably has to make the open meeting law hybrid, televid, remote, hybrid participation act permanent. It's probably been refiled. I wouldn't doubt it. So they have another 2 years to deal with it. They have another 2 years to deal with this retirement legislation also. The act, if you could scroll down a little bit, Kayla, both the House and the Senate versions basically say that if we could highlight the agency paragraph, agency shall mean all of these entities, regional planning agencies or COGS, are subject to the legislation. If it's passed, MRPC is in there. The next paragraph B basically says that we'll still be in the state retirement system. So this basically doesn't kick us out of the retirement system. It keeps us in where we already are. Item C also says, which is very important, that if we do have a liability to pay the mass border retirement for past years, for decades, and our bill, if you will, our current invoice level for MRPC is about $1.5 million. This paragraph basically says that if this legislation is adopted, we don't have to pay in arrears. We only have to pay a piece of our annual retirement liability going forward. And that paragraph D says we're not liable for any past contributions. Paragraph C says it will pay a prorated share. Sorry, I confused the two. The prorated share is not identified in this legislation. That basically means that if this bill passes, there will be an insertion of a percent. And all the RPAs are praying that the percentage of our prorated share for the annual financial check that we have to write to pay our retirees their retirement pensions, we all want it to be 5% or less. I've been advocating for 0, but I'm the lone wolf, and 1% is better than 5%. we think that the legislature may settle on 5%. So hopefully it won't be any more than 5% of our annual pension. And so for example, if we have to pay $100,000 a year to fund the pensions of our retirees, then we have to pay $5,000. But I know it's more than that. So we could have a check for tens of thousands of dollars a year, but I don't want to pay $150,000 or $200,000 a year. This has been going on for probably 10 years, but we're getting closer to seeing resolution and adoption of the law. This is the first time I found the House and the Senate versions the same, and that's the gist of it. This is finally, I'm just sharing with you what's in the proposed law. The Public Services Committee will take this up when it starts its hearings in April, or it won't. They have a budget to pass, so maybe they won't take this up until post summer break. Who knows? So that's just a quick update for the retirement legislation, and that's what's going on. I'm done with that section. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Hearing, seeing none. Do you want to continue?
Happy to continue. Thank you. Thank you, Laura. FY26 budget update. So in February, we provided you with the commissioners with an estimate of revenue, which is a statutory requirement. And we calculated about a 4% deficit at the beginning of FY26, July 1st, 2025. I did state that any delay or halt in federal funding would result in halt on work and following contracts, which could equate to a reduction in a proportionate amount of staff, personnel, jobs. I did state also MRPC needs to diversify its revenue streams. I'm happy to say that the Planning and Development Department has been going full tilt for the last 60 days. And they have all really stepped up to the plate to identify and then pursue a variety of state grant programs, which equate to us delivering services in a variety of areas. I'll get into those in just a moment. As of this point in time, in April, we're projecting a revenue of about $2.135 million, expenses of about 2.291, and a projected deficit of about 6.8%. We define conservatively projecting as assuming lower than usual revenue and higher than usual costs. However, in this case, we have lowered many of the administrative line items. Next paragraph, please. Historically, for reference, some of you are new, some of you have been here for many years. Historically, if MRPC begins a fiscal year with no more than 20% deficit, then with aggressive grant writing and the receipt of grant awards throughout the fiscal year, the agency can offset such a deficit by its fiscal year end. That's fact. We've done that before. When you get to 21, 25, 30% at the beginning of fiscal year as a deficit as of July 1, it's virtually impossible to save all jobs unless miracles happen, and we have had to have a couple of layoffs when we had more than 20% deficit at the beginning of a fiscal year. You're having local difficulty with budgets, and we're not having the problems you have on the local level. It's just a different set of problems because our revenue sources are different. Our budget projections cannot account for unknown reductions in federal funding. I don't know what's in someone's heads collectively inside the Beltway. So we are trying to do our best to plan ahead. Aggressive grant writing and awards of funds may or may not be enough to maintain the current level of staff if federal funding cuts prove to be significant. This is just reality. We hope for the best. We don't know what's happening. A month ago, there was a Department of Education federal, and now there's an executive order saying there isn't one. So we go day to day and we watch executive orders and we look for guidance from federal agencies. Federal agency guidance is virtually nil. We don't get a lot, if anything. Quite frankly, I haven't received anything from a federal agency other than our program rep from EDA saying, don't bother applying for your next EDA $70,000 annual planning grant. The Planning and Development Department, I said before, they've been really kicking tail. They've been pursuing a lot of grants to deliver services in the communities in the region. That's a bulleted list of what they're pursuing. I won't read it. I won't bore you with that and take away your time from your family. Kayla, if you could scroll down beyond the bulleted list, that will be great. I do want to say that there's a variety there, which is a good thing. At least $500,000 in grant proposals are pending. However, that's not true. I wrote this yesterday. So there are many more six-figure numbers that Bernie Cahill just sent me some numbers today, and I don't have I have the total amounts, but I don't have the detail for what's in our admin for us if things get awarded. But that $500,000 will grow in terms of what's being submitted to the multiple state agencies this year. Some multiple funding scenarios exist. Kayla, if you could highlight, oh, not highlight, if you can just scroll up to show all of those bullets. I think there's a fourth one. If we receive only about 20% in state grants, we should be able to more than offset the projected deficit, as I stated above. Receiving more than 20% in state funding would replace current contracts that are ending and could lead to our need to hire additional personnel. You don't know what you need 3 to 6 months from now, because there are several contracts that have come to their natural conclusion. Some more will come to their natural end June 30, some more on 9/30. So then you have to look to see what's coming in to see if you can maintain the current level of staff, or you have to lay off, contract, or hire. So I don't have a crystal ball. It's broken. It's never worked. We're not counting on the receipt of our annual $70,000 in EDA planning funding from Department of Administration, Department of Commerce, which does contribute to that deficit that's a little higher now. We didn't know about that. It wouldn't come at the February meeting. Right now, I'm assuming it won't come, and hoping that it will. Bluntly, we will see. The loss of any other federal grant funds would offset any increase in state funding. It's unlikely that MRPC would receive no state grant awards. That's doubtful. We have great staff. We have a great many needs in the region, and I'm pretty confident that we'll be receiving some state grant funds. In 40 years, I've never been wholly right about any grants that are pending. I'm not going to start guessing now. Planning and development employees are closely monitoring expiration of local hazard mitigation plans, open space and rec plans, and MVP, or municipal vulnerability preparedness plans, for all Montezuma region communities who will offer planning services to these communities for the programs as the local plans expire. This is to get away from budgeting for a minute. Open space and rec plans, I guess, used to be good, have a life of 5 years. Now I think they have a life of 7 or more. Karen can provide us with more details. But the bottom line is, once you write these plans that are state funded, they have a life. And in that life, in that 5 or 7 years, it's a signal for the community to go after and get some brick and mortar money from the state to address things that are in your plan. But then those plans expire, and you have to update them. So that's what that last paragraph is talking about. I'll close by saying that on the existing FY25 budget, we're being more conservative due to the uncertainty and existence of federal funding for planning. Management implemented a freeze on unnecessary expenditures and a variety of administrative costs and hiring. We've canceled our lease on our Pitney Bowes machine as an example, eliminated some subscriptions, and made some other freezes. Technically, we're always in a hiring freeze, but we're not. We're in a hiring freeze when you don't have new contract revenue to hire somebody. When you do get contract revenue and you have more contracts revenue than you have bodies, then you hire. So, technically today, I'm freezing hire. However, we are advertising, and that's what that next paragraph says, is that there's a Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism Mass Outdoor Recreation Sites Inventory grant that's pending. We think it'll be funded. If it's funded, that means we're going to need interns, because we need them in the summer to do a lot of desktop and field checking to bolster the inventory that we already have of outdoor recreation sites. So that's a new grant that's pending. We wrote that a few months ago. So we'll see. As of this point in time, no cuts to personnel have been implemented. That's underlined for a reason. That's today. What happens tomorrow? We'll see. And that's the budget update. And then I just have one last thing, Madam Chair.
Okay, go ahead. Did you say you had one last thing?
Sorry, I had one last thing, but Guy has his hand up.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Guy. I see the hand now. Go ahead. You're muted. Guy, you're muted.
Okay. Quick
There you
question, Glenn. On the handout materials, that we pick up, this is not on it, just the very shortened agenda. Was that a mistake, or is this something that will be happening in the future?
I'm not sure what wasn't on an agenda. The detailed agenda was emailed out to all commissioners. So I'm sorry, Guy. I don't clearly understand your question yet. Could you
Okay,
repeat it?
so the detailed agenda is not on the material handout that when you sign up for the meeting, it was emailed out in another cover.
Yes, and it's also available in the handouts folder that you can get by navigating to our Remember PC website. And then under there it says handouts folder,
it's
and it's
not
in there.
there.
So I just downloaded it from there.
Well, I'm through it right now on my phone and it's not there, so you might want to double check that afterwards. That's
Okay,
okay.
we will. It was emailed out though, Guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Guy. Okay, Gwen, are you now on 5.5?
The other administrative matters, yes. This is, we need some more communication, and we're going to put it out there. Instead of just planning commissioner meetings, we're going to offer basically at least one noon lunch per month. We'll have a discussion and offer information to local officials about the federal funding landscape. Things are changing daily. When I was talking to Holly about this past Monday, I thought I'd have a lunch and learn just to talk about federal funding on a weekly basis. I want to start with monthly, because even though executive orders are being released at a very high rate of speed, not all of them affect us. So we'll start with monthly. The first one will be held on Tuesday, April 15th at noon. We'll send out invitations to all local officials in our group database. And it'll also be, the notice of the meeting will also be uploaded to our What's New section on our website. So basically, if you're a local official in the 22 city and town region, you'll receive an invitation, and it'll be on our website as well. Kayla, could you scroll down? I think that's it on that update. It's basically, this is coming, please watch here. We'll target the third Tuesday of each month for these meetings. The meeting day could change. Additional meetings will be, I think I just said that, they'll be held as needed. Thank you. I'm done.
Okay, so what do you mean by local officials? Do you mean staff or do you mean elected officials?
Appointed and elected. If you're a town planner, or if you're appointed, or if you're elected as the planning board, you're a volunteer or you're an employee. So a local official by definition is you're elected or you're hired.
Okay, and that's just for planners, planning board or planners.
No. All local officials.
Okay, so you mean like select board and
as it states in this paragraph. As it states in this paragraph, as an example, commissioners,
what I missed?
elected officials, town administrators, managers, planning board members, planners, community and economic, DPW, public safety personnel. So if you work in a city or town hall, you're welcome to join the meeting.
It's a Zoom meeting?
It'll be in this format. It'll be GoToMeeting, or we'll use the Teams meeting app.
Well, I meant it's a remote meeting. I'm sorry.
We'll do it remotely to save people time. Yes.
Yes.
Noon to 1.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so when you said lunch, you meant lunchtime.
Yes. Yeah. The lunch and learn phrase is
virtual lunch.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, question.
Peter, go ahead.
Yeah, Glenn, can you talk a little bit? You did you sent around an email that there appeared to be a thaw in the EPA brownfield funding.
Karen came to me. Yes, short answer. Karen came to me, I think 2 days ago. Karen, please feel free to add to this. But Karen got a call from a DEP employee, and the DEP employee said, we're hearing positive signs out of EPA. Nobody will put anything in writing. This DEP employee didn't want to put anything in writing. Nobody wants to put anything in writing. But the audio version, if you will, that hit Karen's ears since she relayed it to me, was that the EPA likes brownfields. There are a couple of bipartisan brownfields acts that are legislation that are pending. And this is not surprising. When the R's get in office, they shut down EPA, but then they understand brownfields is a good thing. So then they basically open the spigot a little bit more. So the email I sent out, I think it was Tuesday, was to you, Lemonster, Peter Groton, Lemonster,
Right.
Beta Group, Karen, I don't remember who else was on the email chain, MRPC staff, was to, okay, let's go one at a time. Let's finish our work in Lemonster. Let's finish our work in Groton. What's the next one? Tracy emailed me back and she said the next environmental site assessment waiting in the wings is for the town of Hubbardston.
Hubbardston, yeah.
So we're going to proceed cautiously.
Okay.
With doing one ESA at a time, with allowing staff to charge a short number of hours. As I said to Karen, like through an eyedropper, we're going to be careful as we go with EPA.
So in other words, the Beta Group can continue with their work right now?
Yes. So let's
Okay.
get Groton done, then let's get Lemonster's done, and then Hubbardston's waiting in the wings to apply to do
Right.
an ESA in its community.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Thank you.
But instead of doing 3 or 5 at a time like we've done in the past, let's do one at a time.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions? And I don't see any hands up. So if you're done, Glenn, then I've got department updates.
I'm done, but Peter just put his hand up. Unless he wants to take it down, that's up to you and him.
I think I took it down, but I will. If I didn't, I'll
It's
take
up
it down
now.
again. That's it. Yeah, my bad.
Okay, thank you.
Down.
Thank you. Status on ongoing projects. For 6.1 GIS, do we have anything tonight?
We do not, but please check out the Mr. Mapper app.
Okay. 6.2, Karen, planning and development.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our department is furiously working on MVP and Green Communities grants that are due tomorrow. We're doing 5 MVPs for our communities and 2 Green Communities applications. Once they're in tomorrow, we'll start working on one-stop applications. Our department's going to apply for 2 or 3 for the region, and helping any communities that are interested in getting that assistance.
Good. Sounds good. Anybody have any
Thank you.
questions for Karen? I don't see any questions for Karen. Thank you, Karen. Guy, is your hand up?
Yes, it is up again. I had myself muted as I was babbling. To Karen, I sent you an email at the beginning of the week asking, I know that on Mr. Mapper it says our housing production plan should be completed around March, the end of March. Do you have a time frame on that, Karen?
You're muted, Karen, if you're talking. Karen, you're muted.
Yes, I know I'm muted. I was on another page. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was trying to see if I had an email from Guy. Because I don't remember
it's not
seeing
email,
one.
or if you have the information, or email it to me so we have an idea what's happening.
Okay, the last time you emailed me was June of 2023 is what I have in my email.
Okay,
Do you have a new email?
Well, I emailed you from my town email, and I've been working out some flaws in it, so I will email back to you. And the question will be on
Okay.
our housing production plan.
I will email you back tomorrow after I talk to the person that's working on it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anyone else? I'm not seeing any other hands. All right, thank you, Karen. Transit and transportation, 6.3.
Yep. So one thing I will mention is this month the MPO will be voting to release our transportation improvement program for 21-day public comment period. So that MPO meeting is on April 16th. So next month when we meet again, I'll probably bring it up again. We'll be within the comment period. Again, that's the Transportation Improvement Program. That's the listing of all federal funded transportation projects in the region. So that's kind of on the horizon right now. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Brian. So now we're at number 7, new business. Does anyone have anything that's new they want to bring up? Guy, is your hand up? Okay. Anything else? Barbara Yoakum, hand up.
Hi, yes. I just wanted to give you an update. Neshoba Valley Hospital closing and satellite emergency facility. There was UMass Memorial Health had a press release on March 24th announcing that a satellite emergency facility is being planned for Groton on Route 119 at 490 Main Street, which is very exciting news. The anticipated time for going through site plan review and conservation and building is 18 to 24 months.
Right.
But at least we have a plan.
Yeah. And that's a convenient location for the towns that were affected.
Very convenient. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. I did want to mention that because I thought that was awesome news. It's still not now, in fact, in towns, and we're trying to get feedback from the fire chief and police to see how they feel about that. I'm sure they feel good because it's actually closer than, where Neshoba was, for us anyway. Karen, is your hand up?
I was impressed to hear that it's going to include a helipad. So very
nice.
Serious. Yeah, it should be good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Karen, your hand is up.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to let Guy know that it went into my junk email.
Okay.
I'm flattered.
So there solves the problem. That's great. Peter, your hand is up.
Just a little bit further on the UMass emergency satellite ER. So they have filed purchase and sale agreements been negotiated with the owner of the property. It's on the old NEBS facility or deluxe check facility in Groton on 119. Should be a good site, and we don't see any major planning hurdles. We still have to go through the process, but it's something we're going to, I think, work on aggressively here to make sure they get through it, without not too much fuss. They've got a very aggressive schedule. They said they hope to have something built and up and running by November of 26. It's going to be a 35,000 square foot facility, so it's going to be big. But it's going to have ambulance bays, and it's going to have diagnostic testing equipment. They're going to be able to do quite a bit there. If a patient needs to get admitted, they would then get transported to another hospital, and there'll be a private ambulance service that will conduct that transport if necessary. So exciting news for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is. Very fortunate to have that news too for our area. Anybody else under new business? Hearing and seeing none. Because we're already in the, nobody has anything else new for the open session. So our next meeting is May 8th at 7 p.m., Thursday, May 8th. And if there are no objections, I'm going to pull a Guy and say that we are adjourned at 7:49 p.m. Does anyone object? Hearing none. Thank you all.
Is it 7:39 p.m.?
7:39 is what I have p.m.
Excellent. Thank you. You said 7:49. Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all very much for your time.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Night.
Kayla,